Hey guys, again, it's your girl MORENX at syempre welcome sa panibagong episode ng paborito nating segment na kung saan pag-uusapan natin ang lahat, all about that and more with MORENX. Ayan, hello everyone! Welcome sa panibagong episode natin. Alam nyo ngayon, super kinakabahan ako. Ito yung pinaka-episode na talagang nanginginig pa ako. But actually, at the same time, I am very excited because this is the very topic na pinagdadaanan ko ngayon. Nandito tayo sa process na kung saan payaman tayo. Nasa millionaire mindset tayo na lahat at kada segundo mo dapat alam mo yun, worth the while. Kailangan meron kang kinikita. Di ba yun naman yung reason kung bakit tayo nagtatrabaho everyday. So ngayon, gusto kong ipakilala sa inyo yung mentor. Lagi nyo siyang naririnig. Hindi nyo siya masyado nakikita sa camera, on screen because lagi siyang behind the screen. Lagi siyang behind the success of everybody, especially ng mga content creators dito sa THOC, sa FEMI, or dito mismo sa FNC. Di ba? Marami siyang tinatagong kayamanan. Kung alam nyo lang, malulula kayo sa dami. Kaya wag na natin patagalin pa. Let's give it up for my mentor. We have Sir John.
Test.
Ay, hindi.
Good afternoon, mga MORENX fans out there.
Oh, hindi. Gusto ko lang i-flex kung gaano ka-pogi si Sir John.
Okay.
Sir John, before...
It's so bright here, that's why I need to wear shades.
Hindi, pogi talaga siya, guys,
Thank
in
you,
real
thank
life.
you.
Pero
Yeah.
before that, Sir John, can you introduce to us yourself? Like, sino ka si Sir John ngayon sa mga content creators dito sa THOC and sa FEMI?
Who am I?
Yes.
Like how deep do you want to go? The beginning or the middle or the...
Ikaw bahala, Sir John.
Okay. So just for people who don't know me, I don't really have a full profile out there. So people may know me as a DJ. A long time ago, I started out as actually a disc jockey. So for those who don't know, my passion is really music. I was a DJ, started DJing at 13. So if you see yung mga records or CDs, I did that. And I can tell you about my journey, you know, how I got into House of Collab, and it was part of my DJing. So when I was young, I always wanted to do music, and I didn't know how to like earn money or do anything. And the one who actually inspired me to be a content creator is my elder sister, Teresa Herrera. She's actually the model, or like, parang she's the famous one in the family.
Mm-hmm.
So Teresa is my eldest sister. When we moved from the States to Manila, like we were starting from like zero. So my mom said, we're all gonna go to the Philippines. We're gonna live there. I have 4 sisters, and Teresa was my eldest. And Teresa at the time was kind of like up and coming model. She was part of this event called Elite of the Philippines, and it was like a big agency. So the big influence in my life was really Teresa Herrera, who kind of inspired me to become also a model as well, a role model. So for me, I really wanted to become like a DJ, and I didn't know how to make money. So I asked my sister, like, hey, you're getting paid millions to do like modeling, and back then her agency is Cal Carries. So I asked her, what do I have to do to earn money, like get a ₱1 million commercial or ₱5 million commercial? Back then, this is 1995.
Ooh. So imagine ngayon. No?
Yeah. So I learned a lot from my sister, and that's kind of like what brings us here today. Another thing is my other sister, who's also part of the business, Tina. She was like the head booker or manager in the agency. So I understand both sides of the business: the talent side as a model, like how to get business, and the booking side, like how clients, why they invest into you. So during that stint, my main goal was just to earn money. So I had basic training. I had great training from mentors. Joey Espino, he founded an event called Fashion Week. But part of all that modeling and all that, it was the basis was personal development. Because if you want to be parang successful as a podcaster or anything, parang it has to come from yourself. And there was no parang talk about you have to walk this way or do everything. Everyone's different. But I think when I started training with models and talent and really successful people, I started to learn about personal development and mindset. I'm 15 years old. I didn't even know how to make money. So that's where I started. And fast forward, I became a model. I modeled for like 4 years. I made a lot of money doing that. And it's not because I modeled or I did a lot. I was very focused on the personal development, writing goals, law of attraction. I got obsessed. Then I became a DJ, and the funny thing is, everything I put in my manifestation notebook, everything came, and hopefully I can share you some of those tactics or strategies.
Yes. Pero the first thing that came up to my mind, nung i-guest kita, why this kind of business? I mean, agency, helping other content creators, helping young ones to become a millionaire. Bakit ganito po? Pwede naman kasi may mga millionaire kasi na parang restaurants lang, yun lang, enough na doon, or something na simpleng business lang. But why this kind?
Well, one is I'm always a coach at heart. Like, for me, if I can teach somebody for free and they don't need to go to a seminar, it's like that was my mission. The vehicle came out as House of Collab. So House of Collab was really not meant to happen. It was just parang a last survival instinct. I go, JV, I know Ryan, you're not doing anything. Let's just do this because COVID is ending soon. We need a project. We're like, let's do something. And I had a lot of wisdom and I would say experience in building businesses and working with great people. So for me, it's like pay it forward. And I think if you can make people successful better, that's a legacy for you. So yeah, I chose to be part of this process and help kids become millionaires, or because people helped me became a millionaire when I was like 19.
Exactly. And I'm very happy with that, Sir John. Kasi alam mo, if wala si Sir John na tagpush amin na, you need to do this, siguro yung 24 hours namin sa isang araw, 1 hour lang yung nagiging productive kami. And the rest of the day, parang feeling namin, we're doing enough. Kahit 1 hour lang yung nagiging productive. And now, we feel like we have this millionaire mindset. Kasi nahihiya kami every time na, magkano sinasahod mo? Parang people look up to us. Tapos we're earning magkano lang, 10K a month for example. Pero ngayon na parang sinasabi niya, you're public figures, content creators kayo. Dapat binabayaran kayo for a reason. Dapat kumikita kayo ng pera at hindi nasasayang yung mga passion at paghihirap nyo. So let's go straight with, for you Sir John, what is a millionaire mindset?
A millionaire mindset is actually more of, like it's done. Like it's done. It's just you're waiting for it to happen. And a lot of it is putting that energy out and letting things, later when you know how to manage your energy, it comes easier. I think a lot of the resistance is fear.
Yes.
Fear of money. There is a lot of beliefs, and the word money can mean many things. And money is kind of like, if you have the right energy around money, you know how to bring it to you or repel it. And a millionaire mindset is just like you're clear that you have an abundant life. Whether it's millionaire pesos, billionaire pesos, parang alam mo na parang I can make anything happen. Like it's limitless,
Pero di ba sabi nila parang money is the root of all evil?
That's the belief, but it's the belief of money only is the root of all evil. So there are a lot of things that are taught or inherited sa mga parents namin, pero it doesn't work for us anymore. These beliefs that you learn from your lola or your parents, some of them don't parang help you anymore. Parang they call those beliefs limiting beliefs. So you have to be very careful about yung vocabulary mo, yung language mo.
Exactly.
Yeah, and what you say to yourself. So I'm very conscious about the words, the energy we put in, out on content, and especially in this house, we're very positive.
When it comes to becoming a millionaire, o yung pagkakaroon ng millionaire mindset, do you think anyone can develop a millionaire mindset, or is it something that you are born with?
Oh, definitely developable. I think you need to have you need to be hungry, not just like 3 rice hungry, like hungry for
Hungry talaga.
hungry for ulam. No, hungry like you want a better life, and they said parang the start of anything is desire. Kasi if you don't want something, parang love, it's like desire. Like everything comes from desire. And if you don't have an intention, parang gusto ko yan, walang mangyayari, di ba? So it starts from like, I want it. Once you understand desire, then you start to thinking, paano? What if? How do I do this? Then, you need mentors. You need people to work with to get you there. Kasi it's a team effort.
Yeah. Growing up, Sir John, parang nung nalaman namin yung story mo, hindi naman ikaw yung tipo ng tao na parang from rags to riches eh. Yung tipong walang-wala talaga nung maliit or something na ganun. Ikaw naman, wag mo i-deny, syempre may kaya. Tapos parang paano na-develop sa yung millionaire mindset na I have to earn this? Di ba kasi minsan yung mga pinanganak ng mayaman parang anong paki kung may pera naman kami. But you, parang ibang-iba ka sa lahat. Instead of saying na, okay lang, may pera naman yung family ko. Hindi naman kami, hindi ko na kailangan magtrabaho. But iba siya eh. Si Sir John, yung tipo na, if you work hard, talagang alam niya kung ano yung magiging kapalit nun. Kaya mas harder yung work niya ngayon.
For sure, especially I'm a parent. You have bigger dreams. Parang I want a bigger house. I want a bigger garage, and there's nothing wrong with it. And I want a bigger check. And people are kind of afraid to talk about like what I want. Parang anong hiya dyan? Like we're here to make money, diba? We like nice things. So I think I'll take the lead kasi I learned everything probably from my mom, who's also a Gemini, and she's very hardworking. So what I saw from my mom is that in the States, we're just normal. She had a bakery. I was an assistant baker. At 6 years old, I'm baking baklava, cakes. So I know parang I worked hard na at 5 years old. Mopping. Parang that was my thing. I was mopping every day. So at 9 and 10, my parents kind of like, okay, we're going to split up. And 4 kids, 4 girls, I'm the only boy. At that time, it's parang we had a choice to go to stay in the States or go to the Philippines. My mom said, if we're going to go to the Philippines, we're starting from zero. Zero. Okay, we're starting from zero. And I go, okay, let's do it. It's an adventure. It's something to learn. And then when you're a kid, you're just like, you don't know what's what. So I saw my mom and my sister, and we moved to the Philippines. We live in a small townhouse, and at the time, her business was a Monterey meat shop in SM South Mall, dito lang, malapit. So what happened was I was the driver who would deliver the meat at 12 years old to make sure yung mga stocks puno.
Grabe.
So people don't know that.
Yes.
Yeah. And during that time in college, I was a guy who had a CDR burner. Ako nagpapa-download sa Napster tapos nagpagawa ng mga
Grabe.
CD. So I was business-minded. Not because I'm coming from money, because I had ideas, and if it's very easy to make money, you need a good idea. So during that time, my mom started with Monterey, then now she has 5, 6 Jollibees. Starting from zero. And she goes, John, I started at 50. I mean, if you start at 50 with 5 kids, you probably would give up by now, diba? Parang 50, tapos you're expecting Jollibee. So my mom got her Jollibee like 25 years ago on my 19th birthday, and now she has 5. And parang, it's just like there's no excuse. Parang for me, like my mom says, if you can do it, mom, I can do it. And I don't have 5 kids, but lalo na if you have kids and you love someone, parang it's limitless. Like there's no thing as parang pagod ako. Parang wala na. There's no pagod. I mean, it's like you want it or you don't want it. Yun lang, di ba?
Kasi 'di ba, Sir John, laging sinasabi din sa akin ng parents ko, pag nagkaanak ka, iba na talaga eh. Iba yung magiging pag-work hard mo kasi you feel like you want to give them the best life that they deserve.
Of course, and they deserve it. Yeah.
Ayaw mong maranasan nila yung mga bagay na naranasan mo dati. That's why you work extra hard.
Yeah.
Pero eto, sa lahat ng mga pinagdaanan mo, Sir John, what are some common traits
For
of people na may millionaire mindset? Feeling mo yung common traits nilang lahat? Why they achieve the things that they are achieving right now?
So, parang I didn't know, like when I went to school, I didn't know my school was actually affluent. So I went to San Agustin. San Agustin is in Forbes, Tasma. That's kind of like, back then, I just thought it was a village. But I didn't know it's the richest village in the neighborhood. What I learned, and from my friends who have very rich parents and very, very wealthy parents, rich and wealthy are different. There's like
Yes.
rich and there's wealthy. They're actually opposite of what everyone thinks. They're very humble. They're very quiet. They know that parang they're very confident of themselves, and parang the owner of SM, we see her in the elevator. She's so quiet, and that's Tessie Coson. Parang the rich is like, it's just calm confidence, and feeling ko that's where kids get it wrong. Like you need to be maingay or obnoxious to be rich or flashy. Opposite of the wealthy is that low key is the best for us. That's what I learned. Low key, low key, low key. People who just flex. I think that's new rich or like new money, but real rich is like they're very quiet. Simple lang. Parang they're not dressed to impress. Yeah.
Alam mo, ilang months na ako dito sa The House of Collab, and even kakilala si Sir John. What parang recently ko lang, 2 weeks ago ko lang ata nalaman na may Jollibee siya. And binibiro namin siya, Sir John, may Jollibee ka pa pala, ba't di ka magpa-Jollibee? Parang ganun, kasi nashock ako. Akala ko nga dati parang tag-produce lang talaga si Sir John. Like, yun lang yung work niya.
Yeah.
Na parang nagpo-produce lang ng music, kasi talagang into music industry siya. And I didn't know everything na meron siya ngayon. Kaya naman, ito yung sinasabi niya na low-key, parang let your success mag-ingay for you. Hindi mo na kailangan na araw-araw ipag-flex na, uy, may araw ako ng Jollibee, or I can do this, I can do that. Kasi sometimes, hindi naman kailangan yun, lalo na kapag alam mong may napatunayan ka na.
For sure.
Diba? Eto, Sir John, how important is mindset? Diba? Kanina tinanong mo kami sa meeting natin, sa may coaching session kami with Sir John every Wednesday. Sa mga hindi nakakaalam, every Wednesday, talagang strict coaching session yun. Sabi niya sa amin na parang, what is that one thing that you want to learn from me? Kasi minsan limited lang yung time namin. Hindi ako naabutan ng question na yun. But there's one thing na I would like to ask. Lahat sila, I want to earn money. Pero ako, alam ko naman kasi na we can earn money. But the thing is, kulang kami ng bagay na magdadrive for us para i-earn yun. Sabi ko, paano nyo po nakukuha yung idea? Minsan kasi parang nare-relax ako sa idea na, ay, kumikita naman ako sa isang field na to. So probably, hindi ko pa kailangan mag-work extra hard because I know I'm earning pa. So ngayon, I wanted to know, paano ba nadadrive dapat or what kind of mindset ba dapat yung isipin ng mga tao na kahit alam mong meron kang kinikita dito na enough naman na for you to do the extra mile, diba? To take extra mile.
The mindset is actually a term, I said it in an interview earlier. It's called Kaizen. Kaizen. So why Kaizen is a term? So there was a war back then and America bombed Japan. And for them, everything was wiped out. Everything. And I think the country says, how are we going to get up and refix ourselves? Parang we lost everything, everyone's dead. So they included the concept Kaizen, like never-ending improvement. Okay. And after that made that their culture. Japan had everything. They had electronics, they had cars. They came out of nowhere. And this country just got bombed just years ago. It's not even 100 years ago. It's like 30 years ago. And for them to have that mindset is they had to re-identify as a new person, like a new country. Who are we going to be? You know, it's not like, it's always about who you have to be to become that person. And Kaizen for me is never ending improvement. And if you realize parang you shower every day, you need to shower every day. You want to read, you read every day. And if you want to work, you work every day to, kasi we're all creators, diba? But for me, Kaizen is like the best. You have to be the best, you know.
There's
That's why
always
Japanese are so the best in food.
sa lahat, actually.
Yung food nila,
Diba?
wow, chocolate, wow. Lahat pagkain.
Oo. Kaya madalas,
Parang
yung mga-
sushi.
tama, kaya lahat madalas, yung mga successful na tao, pag tinanong mo, anong country mga gusto nang balik-balikan, it's always
Ang
Japan.
linis, tapos
Oo.
yung food, the way they handle everything is never a bad meal. Tara, Japan tayo, di ba?
Oo, di ba? Pag ganun. Pero ito naman, Sir John, do you think a negative mindset can hold someone back from achieving financial success?
I think a negative and a limited mindset because not everyone sees themselves as successful. And yung mga philosophy namin, just looking at House of Collab, iba talaga if someone believes in you. Diba? Like if someone you idolize or mentor,
look up
like,
to.
but if you just believe in yourself, parang, am I crazy? Like, am I?
Totoo.
And sometimes you have to be crazy, delusional to say like, I'm really the best. And if people laugh at me and you know, it's okay, but I need to be that person because parang if I'm not, parang I'm cheating myself, diba? So I was very, you know, young and rebellious about who I wanted to be. So mindset is about just like be whoever you want to be, and you know, limitless is always something to strive for. And I hope all these kids were around in House of Collab at least borrow something from it, even if a kid never earned 100,000 tapos kumita siya 100,000, at least go, like, good
Diba?
for you guys, but the ceiling isn't there. It's always more, diba? The MORENX show.
Yeah. Hindi, parang kasi kahit sa username ni Sir John, makikita mo may limitless doon. Ibig sabihin, that's how vocal he is. Na talagang siya mismo, as a person, as a tycoon, or as someone who's thriving and striving, talagang limitless siya.
For sure.
Diba? Sobrang ganun. Ito naman, how can you identify? Minsan kasi pag nasa peak na tayo ng success, or for you, Sir John, na ikaw na you're doing very well sa kung ano yung path na tinitake mo, how will you know if parang nagiging alipin ka na ng salapi. Di ba sometimes hindi natin marirecognize sa sarili natin yan na, ay parang nilalamon na tayo ng money without actually us realizing that.
How will I know about the money part?
Oo, na parang,
How do you know if it's enough money? It's never enough. Well, I think for if I were to say like what's comfortable for money is like you don't have to think about it. They said like money is cool, but when you don't have to think about money, it's better because everything's taken care of. And I try to teach people to strive for create a lifestyle that works. You know, parang like you have to love your job. You have to love doing what you do, and you have to be okay with making a lot of money. Some people have a hard time. But for me, once you have a certain level of earnings, parang you start to think, okay, ano yung pay it forward? Ano yung parang legacy ko? Ano yung parang, what can I do, to give money, give time? So it's not just money for me. It's also parang, what can I do to leave a mark on someone's life? Money will only buys you options na lang. Options lang, that's it. Doesn't make you a better person or not, but if you have money, it's fun though, right?
pero Sir John, paano yung nakakatakot na part na you become a slave of money? Diba? May mga nakaranas ka na ba ng ganun? Because Sir JV shared to us na parang at some point in his life, naging ganun siya eh.
Yeah.
May part siya na dumating siya sa point, ang laki ng pera niya pero ginastos niya sa wala, parang naging relax siya sa idea na, meron pa yan.
I think everyone who's young will learn about a slave of money, but I think it's more of like responsible spending and consumerism. Lalo na sa mga TikTok, parang 50 pesos, 100 pesos, mga small purchases, but it adds up. What people should also learn is it's okay to spend, but be a MSI, multiple streams of income person. I think JB was also talking about, because, if you're just in one job, you have one stream of income. And the mindset here is, alam mo naman, you can earn on brand deals, on Kumu, on monetization, on podcasts. Sana when you fall asleep, you're earning 8 streams of income. Parang ganun na. And whatever works. And usually, whatever we were told, you just have one stream of income, which is salary, which is limiting talaga. So you have to think and be creative. What else can I do to add value and be the most valuable person? And money will come to you.
Exactly. Basta tama yung ginagawa mo and nag-work naman siya, di ba? Ituloy-tuloy. And the idea is, ganun din sinasabi sa amin nila, Sir John, Sir Javin, na huwag tayo umasa sa isang sa isang pinagkakakitaan ng pera. Kasi what if, for example kami, influencer or content creator, app-dependent kami. What will happen if something happens to TikTok, to YouTube? What will happen to us? Di ba parang nawala din yung mundo namin. Nawala yung pinagkakakitaan namin. So ito, Sir John, setting financial goals.
Setting financial, okay. What about?
What are the effective tools para makapag-set ka ng maayos na financial goals?
Okay, so when you set financial goals, whenever and wherever your life, as a financial planner, you have to think of 2 things. Is how old do you think you're gonna live? Because when you live, you need to plan for, like, a 70-year-old person is not gonna want to be in the office. So you need to know in your family, how old is the average lifespan? Is it 60, 70, 80? Parang you start computing. So you do some type of computing. For example, 80. Okay. So for me, I'm 41. I have 39 years of living of average. For you to plan the money, you always think, what is the cost of money in parang my inflation? How much do I need to live every month for 40 years? And that's the whatever, for example, 500,000 a month and times 19 years. I need 20 million in the bank. Parang you compute. For you to do that, you need to sit down, okay, how do I allocate my money to work harder for me? So that can be for stock market, it can be for insurance. There are different tools. But the main goal is, what are the 2 big things in life is, death is certain. You're going to die, and you have to also think, if I die, what happens to my kids and my property? So you've got to plan both things. The money you need in the bank, and also how you want to take care of your family. That's why I believe in insurance. I believe in stocks, because they help you accelerate the growth of money. So for financial, awareness, you need to know how money works. Why is it a note? Why, you need to study on the foundation of money. And that's basic, and we can teach you guys that. And There's so much YouTube videos on that.
Totoo. So, do you believe in yung mga short-term? Di ba may mga long-term financial goals tayo? How about short-term? Kasi ako ngayon, until this day, even though I earn naman na, I don't know what should be my short-term. Kasi sabi nila, naririnig ko na it's important for you to have a short-term and long-term financial goals. Pero ano po ba yung mga klase ng mga short-term financial goals na pwede namin pasukin at this age,
For short term, I think you have to make money fun. So you have to kind of like treat out yourself. And I always say, I'm not a big spender on luxury. I spend on trips. So for me, if I'm going to spend money, books, seminars, trips, and my trips would cost a lot because you're going to different countries. So, short-term goals is what can these trips educate me and what can I get out of experiences? And you can also say, I want to splurge on, a dress or whatever, but it has to be an experience you'll learn from. For me, it can't be just spending and buying something from Shopee, but, wala. There has to be some meaning behind it. For short term, depending what age you are, if you want to get a condo or rent a condo or buy a condo, it's all short term because at the end of the day, like a condo is easy to acquire. But if you're going to buy land, that's long term because you're going to build pa, diba? So depends on your priority. If you're single and you want to make a certain amount and say, for you, 40 years old, you have to have 100 million. What's the plan? Then you start working on a plan.
Grabe yung 100 million, no, sa ganitong age.
Yeah.
Pero achievable naman siya. Sa lahat
Of
ng mga
course.
tinuros, kung kaya nila, Sir John, kaya namin.
For sure.
Basta mag-work
Much,
hard
much
ka lang.
more. Yeah.
Pero sa mga sinabi mo, Sir John, ngayon ko na-realize na yung mga short-term goals pala can be also a distraction for you, no? Lalo na yung mga, for example, mga small wins na pwede kang mag-trips. Kasi ako, di ba, nung nagbakasyon ako for a month or two, naging distraction siya sa akin. Kasi parang ayoko nang bumalik sa real world.
Yeah.
Parang naging gusto ko na siyang, lagi na lang ako nagta-travel. So how do you think a person or someone na gustong mag-ipon, parang maiiwasan yung mga ganun? Yung distraction ng mga paggala-gala, pabili ng ganyan.
You really have to track all your money because everything is asset allocation. So if you have a salary, you can always say 20% a trip, 20% a future, 20% a rent, 20% a whatever. If you properly allocate, magaan yan, they call that compound interest. You can compound. And based on your income, you can plan the size of the trip, the size of the whatever, based on whatever you have. Pero you need to have stretch goals. Parang okay, this time naman I'll go to Hong Kong. Parang whatever, but it's still enriching to you, and you're learning something out of it. That's why you really need to sit down with a financial planner and asset allocate. Aning bawal. Here's an example. You need 6 months of emergency money in your bank. Why 6 months? Because if anything happens and you lose your job, you got 6 months of that. So that's important, diba? What else? There's like apps like Maya, Gcash, where you get 10% interest on your savings. So use those apps. So there's so many tactics, pero basic foundation is it all starts with you kasi you want trips. Baka siya, ayaw niyang trips, gusto niya lang business. So depende sa tao, di ba?
I'm curious din, Sir John, after everything na na-achieve mo ngayon, meron ka bang isang greatest financial mistake na parang na commit mo dati na parang shucks, ito yung turning point ko na nagbago ng lahat?
I think when you're young, so this is kind of my story. When I started doing the music and I own a nightclub, money was very available. It's like every like
Daming umiinom kasi,
like the business was good. It was very good. What you don't realize when you're young is like you think the checks come in forever. You think the checks is like sometimes I'm like first time I saw a double-digit check, I'm like, huh, what's this? It's like double-digit check. I'm 24 years old. Of course, I'm not gonna save it. I'm gonna go to Hong Kong. I'm gonna go to the States. I'm gonna go to trips. But you have to get that out of your system. And if you don't, parang make that mistake, parang you never learn. And then you start to okay, what should I do with my next 10 million? So as I made mistakes or anything, you need to know how to bounce back, whether if it's negative, if it's loss of money or money stolen or someone cheated you. It's now how you respond to it, because you're gonna have money issues regardless of that. It's you lose your confidence after kasi pag something happens. That's the thing you need to work on the most. If you lost money gambling or something, you need to build back the money mindset again para you get back to where you want to be.
Pero normal ba yun? After committing that mistake, Sir John, parang mawawalan ka ng gana. You feel like you can't do anything at all. Kasi yun na yun eh. Nasa peak ka na, tapos biglang mawawala.
If you put meaning into money like that, parang yes, but the thing is, money shouldn't make you feel like that. Like you should understand, parang I can create anything and like that. Wala na. Kasi you're thinking I can't do that. I'm thinking I can do it again. And sometimes, honestly, when I lost money, I'm just like, it's gonna come. It'll come. It'll come in times 2, times 3, and it's always like your perspective on life. Like, money's coming. Money's, even if you don't think it's coming, it's coming. Yeah.
Eto naman, laging sinasabi sa akin ni Sir John, read books. Always read books. Pero ito, what are some resources aside from books that can someone help learn more about developing a millionaire mindset?
Okay, so why I read books is my college was CSB, but I didn't really pay attention in school. And what I learned outside of graduating college, actually don't have my diploma. I never got it. When you're in the real world, the data in college is actually obsolete. Obsolete meaning parang it's not relevant. And part of my job was sales and benta market. And earlier in my job as a promoter and working at a club, I needed to invite people and meet a lot of VIPs, celebrities. And not in one book in college said, build a great network. And in a business book, I always see build a great network, build great contact list. So why I say books, because you can learn $10 worth or free. That's on YouTube now, diba? By reading a secondhand book or borrowing a book or watching a 10-minute YouTube video. And that's from a billionaire's experience. Versus my experience, parang I have to go through that pa. Parang he lost his money, pero I get the wisdom for free. So reading for me is parang showering. You need to update your knowledge because the money game is not really a hard-working game. It is a information game. And you're all content creators. And if you read new ways of making money, there are 18-year-old kids becoming millionaires every day. So there's no excuse. I would say, be open to new knowledge, not just books.
So ito, Sir John, what are the key concepts that other people should know para maging financially literate? Kasi it's important, diba, to know about money and how it works.
Sure. So I think you should know how to earn money. So earning money is one. You can earn money like a job. You can also earn money on commission. You can also earn money through sales. The statistics is anyone who is in sales are millionaires because someone who's selling and earning, like Schumart, they're all in sales. You have to sell a product. So earning money is one. 2 is growing money. How do you grow your money? So that can be insurance. It can be crypto. It can be real estate, it can be many things. So you need to know what are my options sa budget ko. Kasi if I'm only making XYZ and I have to put 10,000 aside, what's the best? And syempre, the best thing is to start small. Parang, I have insurance na, lalo na if you're a parent. Then third is managing money. How do I manage my money so it works better for me? I leverage time. I use that money to hire people to make more money. Those are the systems you learn later through experience. Parang, I don't have to work as hard because I have help. I have systems. I have software. I have AI. And that's really where you leverage and you scale. So yeah, earning, growing, and managing are the top 3. Best books, there's so many. I mean, Money Mindset there's also many. Like Tony Robbins has a good money book. But experience is the best.
Exactly. We talked about network, di ba kanina?
Yes.
How did you start? Parang nag-widen yung network mo. And parang, I just wanna know, for someone na, simple lang naman ako dati, nag-start lang yung network ko nung nandito na ako sa the House of Collab. Ikaw naman, Sir John, how about your story? How did you start it?
So, my network I'm a natural PR. And I think back then, walang cellphone, walang mga invite. In my early days as a promoter or club owner, you really need to physically say, "Hi, MORENX, kumusta ka? Do you want to go to my party later at V-Bar?" Walang mga Facebook. Talagang you need to have the confidence to talk to someone in college and say, "Hi, how are you? I'm John. I have a party tonight. Please come." And that confidence built a network. And I could talk to 100 people like in college and remember them. And that's how I became friends with them. And And if you don't become that person that just not attacks the girls, attacks the goal, parang you'll never meet someone who needs something from you. Then when I had the nightclubs, if you especially have a big nightclub and an in-demand nightclub, every VIP wants to be your friend. So remember, like, if you have friends who are celebrities, politicians, or just good people, like, they're willing to be friends with you if they want something from you. So, and it's good to have good relationships. So, very ma-PR ako. Also, I was also in the business of having good relationships. My business was just to know everyone. And people called me the connector because I connect everyone. Like, what's my business? I connect you and you and you, and I get a commission. I just, parang laway lang, di ba?
Oo, yun lang yun. Uy,
Parang, di ba? That's a business itself.
pero sa isang araw ni Sir John, nakakailang tawag yan. Hindi mo siya makikita na walang ginagawa. It's either may meeting siya sa laptop niya, may katawagan yan, may kausap yan, may meeting yan, grabe. Pero ito naman, Sir John, pagdating sa failure or failing, is it okay na parang matakot ka lagi sa possible failure na pwedeng kalabasan ng journey mo?
Well, failure is all an idea in your head. I think if you experience the thing about failure is the shame behind it. So anyone who's failed in a relationship, money, business, whenever napahiya ka, I think it's again how you bounce back. Kasi failure for me is good because you're required to fail to learn new ways to get better. I think for the Filipino mindset is parang don't do anything, just don't, and just be scared. And for me, parang it's not fun. It's not fun to just not do anything. And I feel like I know myself more if I stretch the limits and I test and I want to break things. And part of any inventor, parang you need to break things to understand what's the new results, what's the A/B testing. Parang we need to know, like, if we do this podcast or that podcast, we need to fail to learn because with the data, we know how to parang pivot or change up strategy. So failure for me is, it can mean many things to you and me, but failure is a requirement to a next level of unlocking newer heights of success.
Okay, from a millionaire maker mindset. Sir John, pwede mo ba kaming pakitaan ng sample schedule mo or sabihin mo sa amin yung sample schedule mo sa isang araw? What time do you wake up? Ilang oras ang tulog mo, kain?
So I'm up 4:30 a.m. I see my phone. I naturally wake up, and I don't have an alarm. 4 to 7 is my time. It's the quietest time. It's the most productive time. I read emails. I reply to emails. 7:30, I see my kids, walk my kids to whatever, 1 hour. I leave here to the office to here. My schedule from 8:39 to whatever 4 p.m. with the kids nonstop. I try to have one meal a day. 4 p.m. is my first meal because you run on energy.
4 p.m. first meal?
Yes. And just drink a lot of water. After I come back here, we either go to other office, have a meeting, a dinner, maybe before 9 p.m. I'm in bed sleeping 9:10. Yeah.
Grabe. Ilang oras? Oo nga, 4 nga siya gumigising. Yeah. Pero alam mo, if there's one thing na super happy ako about sa schedule ni Sir John, nakwento rin sa akin nila JL to and even the other management na parang never ka nag-miss ng oras para sa mga anak mo.
For sure, yeah, I have to. And you want to have a high standard on parang, you can have it all. You can have the wife, the kids, the money, but you need to have a schedule that allows you to balance it all. The balancing part, parang in life, you're not balanced, you're balancing palagi, diba? So you're always good, diba? So you need to learn how to be good at this and fall and try it again. So you get better at it, and you get better at making our time, especially lalo na coaching, efficient. We're not wasting time just talking about bahala or chismis. Our money is like, every minute is $1,000. Let's talk about something that matters, or let's say 1 million pesos. So let's have 1 million peso conversations. For me, I'm not really a small talker or making chismis, pero I hope I add value to you guys, di ba?
Oo naman, sobra. Pero for someone, sa mga bago pa po, Sir, kagaya namin, di ba? Parang bago lang kami sa path na kailangan natin magka-million a month. Yeah. And it's hard for us. Ngayon pa nga lang, nahirapan na kaming balancing kahit wala naman kami masyadong ginagawa. what are the tricks and tips that you want to give to them na parang ikaw may family ka, talagang family man na hindi niya nakakalimutan, plus the millionaire mindset?
Okay.
Paano yun?
The trick is you need to hack the brain. The brain is the one that kind of understands the goals in your life. The way the brain works is it will remember a goal if it's emotionally involved. Parang syempre parang mag-crush mo. If you also like parang I have to lose weight. You're motivated, diba? Parang I need to lose 12 pounds. If you're not emotionally involved and it's not impressed in your heart and you got to feel the goal, you can't make it a subconscious habit or a belief. And they think goals is just typing it down. Goals have to be, I put this in our group chat, like if you want to manifest something or create a goal, you've got to feel it's already done. And for you to have that feeling is it's done. This is how I talk, this is how I walk, this is the way I move. I'm not worrying about it. And if you stay in that energy, it starts to kind of like you kind of move the matrix, or bend reality. And people, I'm trying to teach you guys this slowly, but there's another way. Hard work is one thing, but effortless manifestation is all about keeping the intention and staying in that energy where, everything happens for you. House of Collab was a manifestation of my mind. JV did not want to do this gig. He goes, this is crazy. But I go, it's going to do well. And I was already living in the House of Collab mindset 6 months before it happened. So when it happened, I knew what to do. Okay, do this, do that, do that. Parang, there's no training for this. So if you practice in your mind, and I have a bad reputation of talking to myself, it's because I'm having conversations of my future self and talking about already the goal I already have accomplished. So feel free to be, not mayabang, but feel free to explore the imagination that parang it's there na. Parang our next billion is coming. Parang congrats na sa number one sa MORENX, diba? So your vocabulary has to be very sure of yourself.
Naalala ko tuloy yung video, hinahanap ko dito yung video na sinend mo, The Power of Visualization. Yung hindi lang sapat na plinano mo kung ano yung gusto mo.
Yeah.
Dapat nakatira ka na dun eh. So,
Yes.
kung ano yung goal mo. For example, sabi ni Sir John, yung The House of Collab was just a plan. Pero siya, ang pinagkaiba niya sa iba siguro, hindi lang plano yun. Kumbaga, iniisip niya na agad, na nakatira na agad siya dun sa The House of Collab. And look at the House of Collab now. Parang it is achieving more than they are parang expecting from the House of Collab that time. Kaya yun importante. Ito naman, syempre sa mga, pag gusto mo ng madami and you want to achieve more, sometimes bashers are there. Sometimes those people who are trying to pull you down. Ano yung mga ginagawa mo or mina-mindset mo dun, Sir John, para hindi masyadong magpadala?
Yeah, I think lalo na entertainment,
Yes.
bashers for me are actually fans because they're the ones who check up on you the most. So if there's a basher, there's also a fan that loves you. So you have this duality. So I think bashers are confused fans that are really admire you. It's just that sometimes parang lalo na they don't know how to be you and parang inggit sila or whatever. So it's not your fault, and that's why it stops a lot of people from being successful kasi yung isip nila is they're gonna hate me if I'm successful kasi they're also haters themselves. So again, do what you want and fuck the haters.
Totoo. Doon naman sa sa mindset, Sir John, na parang do what you want. What if you tried, you really worked hard for what you really wanted in life. But then again, may isang tendency, parang may isang situation na parang biglang nag-fail ka dun. Then suddenly, syempre as someone na who's doing what I really wanted in life, parang natakot ka kasi nag-fail na nga yun. Naisip mo na hindi pala para yun sa'yo. How will you jump from this situation na sobrang gusto mo, tas what if naiisip mo wala na palang para sa'yo? Wala nang business or wala nang venture na for you?
Yeah, actually, parang everyone will go through that. There's gonna be a time that you're actually gonna go from something great or zero or negative. There's gonna be a lesson for those people who are going through it now or they're still there. Is parang you have to become a different version to improve why did this mess up? Parang you have to learn from all your mistakes, but you need to find yourself and kind of soul search yourself and kind of like piece yourself back together. And that doesn't take a year. It takes like a 10-year process. But that's mindset. Like you need to face your own, shadow and that's why they have shadow work, they have light workers. But it really is, if you're really saying, fuck this, I'm gonna get up, and the way you talk to yourself, I'm gonna win, that's where you need the right environment to flourish.
It's really a matter, no, kung paano mo din siya iisipin or iti-take. Na sometimes, kahit no ako, Sir John, dati broadcaster din naman ako. Nasa TV din ako, local. Pero akala ko yun na yung bagay na gusto ko. Akala ko wala nang para sa akin when I resigned. Sabi ko, nakaka-burnout pala to. And then when I went out or go out of my comfort zone, na-realize ko na there's a lot more pala sa buhay natin rather than doon sa mga bagay na gusto mo. Because sometimes you can develop your parang love or like towards some stuff na pwede mo palang gawin.
For sure.
Just like content creating.
Yeah, because in life, it's like the reason why you experience life, because there's going to be preference.
Oo.
The things that you don't like and don't like. Parang some people don't like spicy food. I like spicy food. It doesn't make you bad. It's just that I just prefer spicy food.
True.
Diba? And for me, it's my preference. Pero that's where you kind of understand parang self-identity. Parang I'm the type of person who knows myself na. Parang,
Oo. You get to know more yourself better. Eto naman, pagdating sa procrastination. Ako, ngayon pa lang ako sasagot. Feeling ko, hindi mo siya na-try. Pero I wanted to ask, have you tried procrastinating?
Procrastination. Well, there is, you need to rest. And you need pockets of energy for parang recharge. But procrastination is, if you can get it done yesterday, it should have been done. The question is, why do you wait? And a lot of people they're still afraid, they're not in the emotional state to keep moving. You need to be, parang that's in the limiting belief, parang you need to train yourself to keep in motion. And part of that is also mastery. Like you need to know the words and energy you hold in your heart, because if you're inspired, wala naman tamad eh. Diba? If you're inspired, parang if you're in love with a girl or in love with a guy and you say, I'll do anything for you, parang you're not gonna think twice, diba? So you gotta have a why behind all of your motion. Like you gotta have that type of parang super passionate about yourself.
As someone na millionaire maker, how will you know if dapat milyonaryo ka nang? How long should it take for you to become a millionaire?
I've seen 10 years, I've seen 1 year, I've seen people make it up and down, I've seen people make it up and stay up. So I think it's not about creating money, it's also just maintaining what you have and growing that. And I think the principles of compound interest is one, something people need to know about compound interest. The 80-20 rule, how to use that time and parang interest stocks to grow for you, how to invest into property and make money while you sleep. So when you have more knowledge and read books and hang out with other millionaires, there's a solution to everything.
Oy, speaking about 80-20, Sir John, can you explain it to our viewers as well para mas maintindihan nila yung about sa financial goals or yung mga magsiset ka ng mga effective din about dun sa 80-20 rule?
Okay, so in business, there's this concept called 80-20 principle. 80%, 20 is kind of like the parang ratio. And it was found by a philosopher, mathematician. His name is Pareto principle. So in any business, parang ganito, 80% of your income will come from your top 20 clients. And parang same goes with your problems. 80% of your problems will come from 20% of the people. And there's always this ratio, parang, the numbers, the 80-20. So you got to figure out what's your 80-20. What is that one thing that will make you the most money? And that 80-20 can be a skill set, it can be a service, it can be a business. But what is that 80-20 to give you that leverage? So you're always leveraging numbers, and you have to kind of parang read data. Let's say, for example, parang MORENX, kumikita ka sa podcast, $2,000 per podcast versus, sa Facebook, parang where the 80-20 is coming from. You know where the money's coming from. So when you understand the data, you want to focus more on what's working. And that's kind of like goes into the 80-20. And it applies to everything. So it can be 70-30, 60-40, but parang ganin yung concept. How you can make use of this is you look at the data, you track everything, and you kind of study the data for a month or a year and say, teka lang, things aren't working. Maybe I can change my strategy or my business or something that will give me more leverage. So like time management, 80-20, where does all your time go to? Like, what's the waste? Probably talking and making chismis, diba?
Grabe, may pinapatamaan agad, oh.
No, like it can be like your biggest distraction is hanging
Totoo.
out in the the community room and puta 2 hours na.
Parang hindi mo namamalayan na you've wasted so much of your time na pala without actually doing nothing.
Yeah.
Nakasagap ka lang ng milyon na chismis. Yun yung
Yes.
milyon mo.
Yeah. I mean,
Oo.
make chismis or make money. You can choose one. Di ba?
No, totoo. Di ba sa mga ganong bagay, magaling tayo doon. Pero minsan malay mo, deserve naman natin yun.
Of course, yeah. But the thing is, our goal is how can we get it done faster? So if you know like you're here for a limited time, parang go all the way na para get it done. Kasi the House of Collab and FNC, this is just a training center. Parang once you hit your million, yung habits mo nakagawa na, you're already fully parang trained. Uwi ka na.
Oh, for someone na millionaire maker, is it okay ba to stick to something na ginagawa mo pero konti lang yung bayad? Or doon sa bagay na nakakapag-pay ng bills mo? Tinanong ko din to kay Sir JV. Ito yung parang passion over something that pays your bill.
Oh, yes. So you're saying parang, is it okay to do something that's paying the bills and also paying parang passion project? Parang,
Or hindi, pili ka lang kung ano yung, kasi nagko-consume both ng time at dapat mo lang piliin yung isa. What will you choose? Or how will we choose wisely? How can we choose wisely?
So is this more of like a skill set you want to do or parang like what's
Both.
how does it
Kailangan ko
apply
ng,
to you?
kailangan ko ng pera.
Okay.
And at the same time, parang gusto ko rin gawin yung mga bagay na gusto ko.
Okay. For that, okay, so I'll tell you a story. When I started DJing, I DJed for about 2 years for free. So any gig, I said there's a gig opening, DJ ako for free, DJ ako for free. But you know what I was being paid for was, you know, I was building a network, I was building a reputation, and when I started DJing, I was probably getting paid 20,000, 30,000 per gig. But for 2 years, I sucked it up. So there's always timing for everything. So you can do something for $1 million or 1 peso or do it for free. I think what is the experience and the intention of doing something is you need to master the craft of what you really want to do and get really good at it. Because if you're going to do something, you want to charge the most, diba? Parang hosting, be the best in hosting. Parang one of my best friends, Casey Montero. He's such a good host. He is so good. And he's been doing that Miss Earth, Miss Universe, and he still gets paid the most because he's so good at it. That's parang, as age passes by, you're actually getting better and getting paid more. Sarah Geronimo, 5 million per concert. I say, you know, how much time did she put into that? So I think you gotta think, what's the, you know, money, experience. There's a trade-off, but for you, it's like, what am I learning? Am I growing? Is this working or not? And it's up to you if it's not your thing.
Ito naman, for the last question for this segment, how will you know if it's time to rest muna?
Rest muna. I think everyone should rest, but never stop. Like rest. Block out your mental health days, and I block out days too, and block out your me time, self-love time. But I think what happens is when you rest, you need to have systems to set up things that move while you're resting. That's why when you work, you have to have systems. Parang if I get sick, the money is still earning. I have businesses. I earn from monetization. I earn from YouTube. I earn from royalty. So you have to set up, if you want to rest, make sure you have the financial setup to make sure it's being paid for. Kasi typical teenagers is they go travel, spend all their money,
So,
come
ano
back,
natira?
and go back to work. So you have to think, how can I rest and have invest into systems, whether if I can hire a virtual assistant or an EA or a team para
Continuous pa rin.
tuloy pa rin, diba? That's why, you know, AI and all these cool apps are there because it can do more than the normal person, diba?
Ito, parang ma-relate siya sa podcast ng More with MORENX na about love pa din.
Oh,
Dito.
love.
Let's
a love question.
let's relate
Relationship.
muna. Hindi. What if, for example,
What if?
ako kasi dumating ako sa point na kaya kong i-sacrifice dati yung pagiging FA ko para lang magstay dun sa ex ko. Parang it's okay for me not to become an FA. Basta nandun lang. How about sa pagiging millionaire mindset? What if yung partner mo, yung jowa mo, or yung asawa mo na pala yung naghihinder sa'yo sa mga bagay na gusto mong gawin?
Well, it's true. The partner will make or break your success.
Totoo.
Because if they have poor money habits or poor money beliefs, the money can be spent somewhere where you don't want it to be spent. It can be like, I notice a lot of people, you know, casino or sugal or whatever. Also, like the partner's beliefs, the background and the knowledge, it depends. Like if matching kayo, pero
Mm-mm.
I'm always open to educating like my partner or whatever because we learn, lalo na if you're a parent, if you're gonna build a family, you need to know more kasi you've got to teach it to your kids, and that's why we have these problems. Our parents didn't learn these things.
Mm-mm.
So ang daming mga hugot mga bata, di ba?
Ano yung sa inyo, Sir John, yung sa setup ng asawa nyo? Before ba kayo parang nag-asawa or naging magjowa, ganyan yung mindset mo na dapat work, work, work? Hindi
I
ba siya
think
nahirapan?
no, so the mindset of the Filipino, what I've experienced is like depend on your parents, depend on your. For us as a couple, parang we know that we can work, we can do many things, but I think she does her work, but she's also a working mom, so hostings whatever. But we'll never say no to a gig or a check that says, okay, let's do it, and we're good at it. I think we also like what we do, like it keeps us relevant, it keeps us young, but we like doing what we do. I like creating companies. She likes doing what she does. But as a couple, like you like to have your own money too, right? So,
Mm-mm.
usually you can talk to like financial planner for couples. Again, everyone has their goals and how they spend money, but I think you need a partner that understands anong kaya mo, anong hindi kaya ko, anong what if ganito, what if I get sick, what if we lose the house. You have to be prepared for those conversations, and you need a solid partner to back you up in those conversations. Kasi sometimes the girl will leave you pag wala na kang pera, di ba?
Totoo. Uy, aminin nyo hindi lang sapat yung pagmamahal pagdating sa ganyan. Kailangan talaga prepared kayo mentally, financially, lahat. Kailangan. Pero curious ako, Sir John, lang, dami kong pahabol na
No, no,
question.
no. Keep on going.
Eto pala, pagdating naman sa yung sabi mo na dapat may pera ka, then may pera din yung partner mo. How do you do that? Parang, di ba meron din kayong conjugal na something? So, paano ba yun, paano ba yung setup nun?
It depends on your comfort level. Like for guys, I don't know. Again, how guys think. Kasi this is how I think. Like, you should be, as a guy, you should be thinking of many ways to provide if you're gonna have a family. So, basic everything. Like, let's just say 500,000 a month. I don't want my wife worrying about how to make money and take care of the kids if the 500,000 isn't ready. So, if gentlemen out there who are planning to have kids, lalo na yung mga couples, have a plan of financial planning, especially when you have a kid. To have a kid is like 300,000 for hospital bills, and it's a big decision. So for the conversation is with you and your wife or your partner. I think you have to say who's going to take the lead, or are we doing 50-50, which works. But there's always going to be a balancing act of there might be times when you're down, there might be times you're up,
Mm-mm.
or both. And the relationship gets stronger. So I think you don't have to be like a billionaire to do that. You just have to have an understanding parang this is a teamwork. This is a team
Oo.
effort. And during before you marry, parang know the issues, like know how much money you guys make, know how much the lifestyles, know like what's the issue, like do you have credit card debt, do you have utang, you have to have that conversation, because those are red flags that you don't want to step into. Ay, daming utang pala, we don't own the house, or you gave up the house. So the it's all about your trust relationship with your partner, diba? And if you're comfortable about talking money, diba?
Oo naman. Importante yun, dapat open kayo sa mga kung anong gusto nyo, anong ayaw nyo, para klaro. Ito naman nung parang first time mo magkaroon ng pera, or syempre dumadating na yung pera, what should be your first investment? Diba yung iba sasakyan, yung iba bahay.
Yes, I see. I think those are assets that depreciate. I think anyone who wants to learn anything is just get an insurance plan. Why? Insurance plan can be savings in parang growth. Tapos if anything happens to you, parang may pera for whatever, your basics, whatever. Like it can be for the service, or you can leave money to your kids or parents. That's just the good thing about insurance plan. That is, I suggest everyone, because parents don't get insurance. They have a GoFundMe, they have a parang GCash. But if you had insurance, parang 2,000 pesos lang a month.
Oo.
So basic lang. Don't depend on SSS Pag-ibig, all that stuff. Get an insurance plan. It's cheap as 2,000 pesos. Two is have a long-term goal to own property, whether if it's a lot, because property for me is something that they stop inventing. Parang that's an investment that grows, and I've seen it grow in other businesses. Those are for me. Those are two things to start and studying kasi it gets your mind curious based on budget mo, magkano kumikita. Kasi you start doing research. Magkano yung budget ko? Parang anong kaya ko? So you start to kind of formalize a plan. Then you start practicing. You testing. You meet other investors, and you just educate yourself. Today, TikTok, YouTube, parang daming mga channels.
Okay, and to sum up, as someone na millionaire maker na natutunan mo all throughout your journey that you wanted to share or you want to share to our viewers or listeners, what would it be?
I think, our purpose talaga in the House of Collab is there is a new wave coming, whether if it's an entrepreneur, creator, and parang I learned parang when ABS closed down and all these different networks were having a hard time coming up. I think the future will be, the Logan Pauls, the TikTokers, these millionaire makers who don't need something big to do 1 million views, parang Mr. Beast. So I think and I believe the House of Collab will create a Mr. Beast. We have a movie coming at the end of the year.
Yes.
We have more. We have a travel show. We have a food show. So I think it's going to be a new business where we'll be creating successful careers, and I think aside from the abundance, we'll be huge. Yeah.
Kaya naman, ayaw sana nating sana magkaroon to ng part 2, Sir John, if you will allow. Wow.
What part?
Pero relationship naman.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna get number 1 on More with MORENX, by the
Oo
way.
naman, abangan nyo yan, syempre. And of course,
Ano to, love relationship and what if?
Oo, mga what if
Shit.
naman yun.
Ano
Pero,
yung the one that got away.
meron ka bang ganun? Ops, wag mo munang sagutin yan. Syempre, sa part 2 na natin yan.
Okay.
Pag magkaroon tayo ng chance.
Opinions
ulit.
expressed by guests.
And host. Oo nga. O, di ba tama? Opinions expressed by guests and hosts are solely theirs and do not reflect the opinions, beliefs of the show, channel, or its affiliate. Kaya naman, Sir John, with this, allow me to say thank you.
Part 2, may part 2 pa?
Hindi ngayon.
Okay.
I-ano natin, iset natin. Thank you so much for
You're
being
welcome.
a big
Thank you,
part
Mar.
of this episode. May mga gusto ka bang batiin?
No, we're good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
I
you,
hope
Sir
you had
JD.
fun. Wow! I hope you had so much fun and kasi marami ako natutunan. At sana kayo, let's start today. Kasi alam ko, natatandaan lagi ni Sir John yung sinasabi ko na gusto ko nang i-share sa inyo na if you want something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. Para di ba makapag-level up tayo sa mga bagay na gusto din natin sa buhay natin. And of course, maraming salamat sa Home Sweet, MW Cash, Cosine, Thrive, and Undocs. Maraming salamat. And of course, for those of you, please don't forget to download Spotify at hanapin nyo dyan ang More with MORENX. Once
Yes.
again, this is Gandang MORENX saying being different is okay. Bye!